Thank you very much. Meanwhile, we're learning a lot more tonight about Gary Hilton and the time that he spent after allegedly kidnapping Meredith Emerson. While at a Pickens County Huddle House, Hilton called his former boss. This was the day before the GBI says he killed Emerson and dumped her body in Dawson County. Our team coverage begins tonight with 11 Alive's John Sherrick. John spoke exclusively by phone with that former boss, and he's joining us in DeKalb County now. John?
Ted and Brenda, so many people were trying to help the GBI last week find Gary Hilton and rescue Meredith Emerson. Tonight we know that this past Thursday, when Meredith Emerson was still alive, still a prisoner of Gary Hilton, Hilton's former boss tried to set a trap for Hilton here at the siding business on Claremont Road in DeKalb County where Hilton used to work, using money as the bait.
And what I did was attempt to set a trap to enable the authorities to catch him.
John Tabor says Gary Hilton called him late Thursday afternoon out of the blue asking for work. Hilton had worked on and off for 10 years at Tabor's siding business headquartered on Claremont Road in DeKalb County. Well, Hilton called Tabor from the phone at this Huddle House restaurant on Highway 53 in Pickens County. No one could have known that just then, Meredith Emerson was Hilton's prisoner, alive and restrained inside Hilton's van in the restaurant parking lot. Hilton told Tabor on the phone he just needed to go back to work right away.
He said he needed some money to get started, so I told him I would leave a check for him at the office on Claremont Road for him to retrieve the following day, Friday.
What Gary Hilton didn't know when he called Tabor was that Tabor had already called the GBI about Hilton. Tabor called the GBI as soon as he heard that Meredith Emerson was missing from the hiking trail on Blood Mountain in Union County. Tabor knew Hilton camped in the wilderness there, and based on what he knew of Hilton, suspected Hilton might be the one who kidnapped Meredith. So Tabor had already given the GBI Hilton's name, van description, and license tag numbers. And right after Hilton called Tabor, Tabor called the GBI again. And the GBI raced to the Huddle House, trying to catch up to Hilton and Emerson. But the GBI says Hilton killed Emerson the next day in Dawson County, one day after calling his former boss to plan his future.
That was the last contact I had from Gary Hilton, and apparently when they picked him up, he was en route to get that check. John
Tabor says he wants Meredith Emerson's family to know he did everything he could to help police catch Hilton and save Meredith. Now, Tabor is out of state and expects to return home to Metro Atlanta in the next few days, grieving, he said, along with everyone else, including all the people at the Huddle House in Pickens County, wondering, agonizing over what more they could have done. Reporting live from DeKalb County, John Sherrick, 11 Alive News.
John, thank you very much.
Well, right now, Gary Michael Hilton is sitting in the Dawson County Jail waiting for his next court appearance. In the meantime, 2 other law enforcement agencies are looking at Hilton as a suspect in unsolved cases. 11 Alive's Kevin Rosen continues our team coverage now as he breaks down the timeline on 3 cases with many similarities.
This is a mugshot of Gary Hilton from a 1995 arrest in Cobb County for simple battery. Gary Hilton has a history of arrests, but none that would foreshadow a crime as heinous as the murder of Meredith Emerson. Now, investigators in 3 states are trying to figure out if Hilton was on a 3-month serial killer rampage, stalking victims and dumping their bodies in state or national parks. On October 21st, Jack and Irene Bryant disappeared in North Carolina's Pisgah National Forest. Irene's body was found in the forest, but her husband is still missing. A suspect used their credit card at an ATM in Ducktown, Tennessee, after they disappeared. 5 days after the Bryants disappeared in North Carolina,
what you doing out here?
Gary Michael Hilton was caught trespassing on private land in Cherokee County.
God almighty.
The sheriff deputy who stopped him let him go after checking to see if he had any outstanding warrants. On December 1st, 46-year-old Cheryl Dunlap was last seen at her Crawfordville, Florida home. The next day, a man was seen using her ATM card on a bank surveillance photo. Dunlap's body was found in the Apalachicola National Forest. Yesterday, Florida investigators said Hilton is their prime suspect. They can place him in Florida at the time of her death. On January 1st, Meredith Emerson disappeared in a national forest in North Georgia. Her body was found in Dawson Forest on Monday. A man used her credit card shortly after she disappeared. The similarities in the 3 cases are staggering. Hilton has only been charged with Meredith Emerson's death. I'm Kevin Rosen for 11 Alive News.
Meantime, friends and family will gather tomorrow in Athens to remember Meredith Emerson.
There's a memorial service. It'll be held at 2 at Central Presbyterian Church. That's where Meredith went to services while she was a student at the University of Georgia. 11 Alive's Jerry Carnes joins us live now from Athens, where, Jerry, you spoke to people who plan to attend the service tomorrow?
That's right, Ted. The sanctuary here holds about 400 people, which the pastor tells me he's expecting a lot more than that for tomorrow's memorial service, so the church is now preparing for an overflow crowd. And that speaks volumes about the impact of Meredith Emerson's life.
Meredith lived her life in a way that was enthusiastic and positive.
They will remember her for her energy, her drive, her desire to go above and beyond.
She was just one of the stars in the French program.
Diana Ranson was one of Meredith Emerson's French teachers at the University of Georgia. For more than 3 years, she's held onto a postcard Meredith sent her while studying in France.
I'll be sure to bring by pictures fall semester.
It's a reminder of a bright, energetic young mind.
She was just the kind of person you just felt happy when you were around her. She was just so enthusiastic and so interested in studying French, and somebody you really established a connection to.
Meredith also had a strong connection to the Athens church that will host her memorial service. While in college, she attended services here and worked in the church nursery.
She would play with the kids, and they just felt very safe with her.
Pastor Bob Bowler will speak at the memorial service of Meredith's impact on so many.
She was making a difference in the world, in the life of her friends. She was preparing herself to make an even greater difference in the lives of children and others.
Others, like fellow students in her martial arts class, who helped in the search for Meredith when she was missing in the North Georgia mountains. Her instructor says he learned from her.
Boundless energy, enthusiasm, spirit. She had a great positive attitude. She never gave up, and she was always striving to improve herself. She really added to the entire class.
One of the songs that will be part of tomorrow's service, Amazing Grace. Meredith's parents requested it. It was one of the songs that kept family and friends going during the long search for Meredith. Live in Athens, Jerry Carnes, 11 Alive News.
Jerry, thanks. Some people are remembering Meredith Emerson in a different way, a way that may even be more emotional than the memorial service.
And they're going to one of the places that Meredith loved the most. As 11 Alive's Julie Wolf explains, it's a place where she may have come face to face with a killer.
Makes sense that it'd be raining. I can feel her tears. Where they found her stuff.
Steve Seegers holds back his own tears as he follows the path of Meredith Emerson's final hike along Blood Mountain.
Went up there and took the flowers.
One more rock for a makeshift memorial, the spot where some of Meredith's belongings were discovered. Water bottles, a dog leash, a police baton scattered on the ground here. Steve believes this is the spot where Gary Hilton attacked his girlfriend.
He's had 6 decades on this planet and has squandered it. She gave us a lifetime in 24 short years.
Those close to Meredith Emerson want her remembered for the way she lived, not the way she died.
She was a light beyond description. She just shined.
Julie Wolf, 11 Live News.
Surely there are a lot of you who want to send flowers, some sort of well wish to the family. Well, Meredith Emerson's family is asking that instead of that, you make donations to local animal shelters. For instance, the Atlanta Humane Society has even created a link to its website for donations. You can access that by going to 11alive.com and clicking on Pets. The agency says depending on the sum of money it gets, it will allow Emerson's family some say in where and how those donations are used.
Well, at the same time, 11 Alive has received several calls from people about the fate of Gary Hilton's dog, Dandy. We can report to you that the dog remains at the DeKalb County Animal Control right now. Officials there tell us that Dandy will soon be moved to facilities in Dawson County. The GBI says Hilton's dog right now is part of the active investigation. No word yet on when Dandy will be put up for adoption.
Boy, quite a scare here with a good ending. A construction worker in Buckhead has quite a story to share with his family tonight. Firefighters had to lower him from a high-rise crane a couple of 100 feet up. This is one of those construction cranes, this one on Peachtree Dunwoody Road. Here's a look at the scene from 11 Alive Skycam. Apparently the man blacked out temporarily while he was up there and he wasn't able to climb down. Firefighters had to work hard, but they were able to get him on the ground safely.
Well, Delta pilots are preparing for a possible merger of their airline with another major carrier. And as merger rumors swirled through Wall Street, Delta stock soared 18% to close at almost $16 a share. Published reports tonight, confirmed by 11 Alive News, say that a special Delta board committee will soon give the carrier the okay to talk merger with United and Northwest Airlines. The Delta pilots are taking no chances. They say they've set up a strike center already and plan to be a part of any talks from the outset. They are ready, they say, to picket and lobby, if necessary, for or against any deal.
Storms on the way tonight, and it's rained significantly since late December. More on the way. Does that mean we've finally broken the back of our historic drought? Well, probably not. Predictions for the year from the state climatologist's office call for a warmer and, keyword, drier winter than normal. Climatologist Pam Knox says it's a good sign that so far the weather has returned to a more normal winter pattern with rain every couple days, but she says we still have a long way to go, 20-some-odd inches if I'm not mistaken. We'll still have a much better idea when we get through April on how we're doing.
Severe weather is bearing down on us right now. In fact, so much so that a tornado watch has been issued, just been issued. We're going to check in with Paul. Well, with the drought in Georgia, you might think that there would be a lack of spectators at the Atlanta Boat Show, but that's not the case at all. Buyers are looking for deals right now, and they're going to get them this year. It's tonight's West Side Story.
If you attend the boat show at the World Congress Center, eventually you're going to get tired of looking at row after row of incredible new boats. When that happens, this year you can try your hand at fishing. Either virtual or real.
If you blindfolded someone and handed them the rod, even an experienced fisherman would not be able to tell that he didn't really have a fish on it. Oh, yeah. As you can see.
Then way in the back of all of the boats, we found a place where you can catch the real fish. Trout. Of course, it's catch and release. Hope Leatherwood of Woodstock hasn't caught many fish ever. Then if you're a speed freak, check out the Miss Geico. This boat, in its biggest version, can go over 200 miles an hour.
Here, this is a T-53. These are 1,500 horsepower apiece engines. We have one on each side. These are off Huey helicopters.
Even with our drought, it's been predicted that 500 boats will be sold at this 5-day show, which wraps up on Sunday. I'm Wes Sargentson, and that's tonight's West Side Story.